Welcome back. Where next for Kenya? Can the current political standoff be broken? The opposition's Raila Odinga says he'd participate in a power-sharing unity government with his rivals to break the current deadlock, but with one key condition, that new elections are held within 6 months. So far, President Mwai Kibaki shows no sign of complying with his opponent's terms. Now the opposition have a majority of seats in parliament, and there's talk of an ODM vote of no confidence in the president. This is one option Raila Odinga could pursue. A third solution is for a legal investigation into claims the election was rigged. Again, unlikely. As the opposition says, Kenyan judges are all pro-government. Sources close to the president have pointed out that the economy is his Achilles heel. And today the EU voted on whether to withdraw aid and hit him where it hurts. EU sanctions may force President Kibaki's hand, but freezing aid may end up hitting ordinary citizens worse than the big man. Well, once again, we're joined by our guests in Nairobi, William Ruto and Danson Mungatana, and in Oslo, Bob Ambers. Mr. Mungatana, the US and 13 other donor nations are reviewing aid to Kenya. Does that worry you?
Well, first and foremost, I would want to say that Kenya has maintained very good relations with these countries. And in fairness, it would be right on their part to also take an impartial stand on this matter. Before taking decisions based on images being thrown across the world, it would have been a fair thing for everybody to do a fact-finding mission, have a sitting with government and the opposition, before passing a vote away without the benefit of the true facts of the matter. So I take it that the truth will finally dawn and everybody will do what is the right thing.
Well, someone who would argue that he is looking at the true facts is Bob Ambers. Bob Ambers, do you think that sanctions are a good idea to get Kenya back on track from the international community?
Well, we know from other experiences that sanctions are not always leading to the results you want. And I think that it would be essential in this case to give the process perhaps a little more time, to give the different parties a chance to come to some sort of mediation, some sort of negotiations. It could be an option to ask the African Union to intervene more sort of strongly than it has so far, perhaps to set up a commission of inquiry about the election results if it is not likely that an election will be held in 3 to 6 months. So there are different options that should be pursued, in my view, before one is too determined about the sanctions. But certainly there would be a possibility in the long run.
Mr. Ambers, Kofi Annan had a bit of a setback with a heavy flu, but he is set to arrive soon in Kenya to mediate. What can Annan achieve if big names like Fraser, Tutu and Kufuor have failed?
Well, I think that the development in Kenya itself, that the civil society is being given a voice, that democratic rights for protest and voicing the grievances of people is important to uphold. So the opposition and the civil society can come out with their grievances and their frustration. That is important in a democracy. It's an important democratic right. That could be helping the process of negotiations with international mediators. And Kofi Annan hopefully would be able to bring the two main parties together, perhaps behind closed doors in the first instance, to start building confidence and to start, I would think, a rather long process of mediation and negotiations. There should also be a process of reconciliation in Kenya, it looks like. Perhaps even a commission of truth and reconciliation in some time ahead.
William Ruto, will the ODM have dialogue without any preconditions?
As ODM, despite having won the election, we have been open to speak to Mwai Kibaki at any instance. It is Mwai Kibaki and his group who have shown intransigence to any discussions. When Kufuor came here, they said that he was coming to have a cup of tea. you want to ask yourself, why would a president want to come and have a cup of tea in a country that is up in flames? The Minister for Transport the other day said that they have never wanted and they have never invited anybody to come to our country. It is the other side who are intransigent. We are prepared for a political solution so that this country can move forward, but the other side are scared because they know they stole the election and they do not want to sit on a table in which they are going to be told the truth.
Mr. Mungatana, you're scared because you stole the election. That's the view of William Ruto. How would you respond?
I just want to take objection to the kind of expressions being made here. This is a contested election, and we maintain that according to the official results, we have won this election fair and square. If they have a problem, surely we have a legal system that works in Kenya as an option, and that legal system has helped the Honorable Ruto himself from being prosecuted on an accusation very serious that touches on corruption. And it is the same legal system that has assisted previous presidential petitions in this country. There is also the option of the opposition calling for a vote of no confidence. Again, that is another legal option that exists. But we wonder why our comrades on the opposition are insisting on going out there and putting the country into flames. We argue that it is possible for us to have a legal solution to this problem. It is possible also for us to have a political solution to this problem. But we must accept some things. Number one, we on the side of government have been playing what is called gentleman politics. In fact, we have not reacted in any way to all the provocation that has come. And if you look at the results of the Speaker's election, we lost by 4 votes in Parliament. They had 105, we had 101. We did not call for mass action. We accepted the results.
Mr. Mungatana, you accepted the results, but the opposition didn't find anything awry with the process. The cameras were on when everybody was voting. It's a completely different situation. It's not analogous. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I want to finally go to William Ruto. There's not much time on the program. I want to look forward a little bit. There's a humanitarian disaster going on. Hundreds of thousands are displaced. Tourism is hit. The neighbors have been hit. Because they're relying on Kenya's ports for economic upliftment. How much broader and wider can this problem go on for if it's not sorted out very soon?
We hope Mwai Kibaki wakes up and gets to see the reality in this country that he cannot force himself on the people of Kenya. It is absolutely clear. The observers from EU were here. The observers from the US were here. The Kenyans watched the stealing of this election on camera, and the sooner Mwai Kibaki and his group wakes up to that reality and comes to the negotiating table so that we can get over this problem, the sooner we will get this thing done with. As things are today, Mwai Kibaki and Mungatana and their group believe that this thing is going to go away. Reality and the truth will not go anywhere.
All right, Mr. Ruto, you've made your point. I'm sorry to interrupt you. We have run out of time on the program. There's only about 15 seconds left on the program. Thank you very much, William Ruto, Danson Mungatana, and Bob Ambers. Thank you very much, gentlemen. There was a terrible audio delay, but you all did a sterling job. And thank you so much, the viewer, for joining us on this edition of Inside Story.